me. Leave a message at the beep.
Hey, buddy. It's me. Hey, we were talking about bees and me getting bees and me having bees and my yard being full of bees. Yeah, so I know my yard's too small, but this is genius. I thought of this and I actually got some of them put in already. I've actually created a colony. I found the perfect place that's out of the way, that's not a problem. I'm putting the bees in my attic. So you can actually hear them. It's kind of unsettling, but it's like a white noise. It actually helps you go to sleep. I like it. So yeah, bees, man. I don't know what kind of honey I'm gonna get. I didn't go online and buy them or anything. I just found some in a normal kind of beehive. It's round and kind of looks like a piñata. And yeah, it's awesome. They're super, super aggressive, but I tell you, when that honey comes, I'm excited. Okay, buddy, call me back. Bye.
Oh, my friends, that sound. I love it. Oh, it means we're about to get started. It's another podcast, man. Glossy News 4K bullshit and whatever. Brian White podcast for glossynews.com. Today is most definitely Monday, January 28th. No, 18th. Yeah. It'll be the 28th in 10 days, but I'll talk to you before then. No, today is January 18th, and that's so wonderful because for once, nobody